All right, guys, welcome to the next installment of the Everyday Joe Show. I'm your host, the Travis Reed. Might have heard of me before, maybe, possibly, maybe not. All right, guys, episode 402 out here in a freezing cold Studio 11. Got the heat on, but let me tell you what, it ain't doing much good. That is for sure, because it is a cold one. Has been here for like a week. I hope y'all survived the snowmageddon, the ice-mageddon. Figuring to be cold again coming up today and tonight. We're like 8 degrees. And I told the wife, like, yeah, let's go to Nashville to eat for your birthday. I didn't look at the weather before I made that suggestion. It's going to be cold. It is cold. But alas, here we are. You got little old me once again here. We're going to talk sports, heavy sports tonight. Got a lot going on. Got the big game, the super big game. I don't know if we can say Super Bowl in here, but I just did. Super big game is set. We have the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks squaring off at Levi Stadium there right outside of San Francisco, I believe in Santa Clara, if you will. That'll be, I think it'll be a really good game. I did not want the Seahawks nor the Rams to win the NFC Championship because I am a fan of the Arizona Cardinals. I know it's pathetic. They're in my division, so I didn't want either one of them to win. But one of them had to, so they did. And it happened to be the Seattle Seahawks. So it is what it is. So it is the Seahawks versus the Patriots. I am rooting for the Patriots for that reason. And also for Mike, words are hard. Mike Vrabel, because he was Tennessee's coach, and they kind of let him go, in my opinion, a little too prematurely. Didn't give him much of a chance. But I always said that when Vrabel became Tennessee's coach, I was like, if the New England job comes open, he's going to go to New England, just because that's in his blood. That is his pedigree. He's a smart player. He was a smart player. He's a smart coach, just like Belichick was. It's kind of his lineage, kind of not being in his shadow, but being there because Belichick was there. I always felt like he was going to go regardless. And I get it. I understand that. And he had some good years in Tennessee. The last couple weren't that great, but, Belichick had a couple off years there even with Tom Brady. So it happens. So I am cheering for the New England Patriots. Because I like for him to maybe give it to Amy Adams Strunk or Skunk or whatever her name is, and just kind of say, hey, what do you think about that? Hey, let me now. Still don't. But it should be an entertaining game to say the least. All the playoff games up to now have been, except for one, Seattle and San Francisco, have been fantastic. So hopefully this one will shape up just like that one. Exciting times now. We get to hear about the every facet of both teams up until the Super Bowl. That's the one thing that I like it because I'm a sports nerd, but then I'm like, man, we're beating the life out of this thing. I'm gonna know the long snapper. I'm gonna know where he went to college. I probably already do, but anyway, the big super big game is set. What are y'all's plans? What are we gonna eat? That is a major decision for Super Bowl Sunday. We've had in the past. I had my first pepper jelly at Tooth and Kim's house when New England played the Atlanta Falcons when they were down 28-3 at halftime, and I'd never had pepper jelly. And me and Tooth stood there and ate just about the whole dish of pepper jelly. A little cream cheese with some spicy jelly on top. We didn't poop for a week because we had so much of the cream cheese. But it was great nonetheless, and I would do it again. And I dare anyone to stop me. Buffalo chicken dip is always a go-to. That's one of Tooth's favorites. He loves anything buffalo sauce, especially McDonald's buffalo sauce. That is his go-to. It's kind of creepy how he has developed almost a fetish for this stuff. Kim also makes what she calls crack dip. It is phenomenal. It's got like some ranch powder in it, some cream cheese or something, and some shredded cheddar cheese and little bacon bits, and then it's in the name. It's crack. You can't stop eating it. You will not stop eating it. It is super fragilistic espialidocious. It's great. So good. Chips and salsa. You got chips and Rotel. I love some Rotel dip, homemade Rotel. I love it. Apparently, everybody consumes the most guacamole and avocados on that day, which is disgusting, but that's your fault. I'm sure a lot of people do chili, and that's disgusting, and that's your fault too. Potato soup is good because it's usually cold or something of that nature. Wings is always the go-to. Wings, celery, ranch, blue cheese. I don't need ranch or blue cheese on my wings. I just need the wings on the wings. That's how we eat it. That's how the guy in Buffalo that invented it, that's how he determined that these are how they're supposed to be ate. I just made all that up, but still, that's what we're going with. Just wings. Don't need anything extra. Just the wings. Don't even. You want some celery or that? No. I'm not eating salad. I'm eating chicken wings. What are we doing here? Jeez. Coaching hires. We got a lot of coaches. Robert Saleh is the new coach of your Tennessee Titans. Brian DeBoer is the offensive coordinator, former Giants head coach. And Robert Saleh was his last job was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. Before then, he was coach of the New York Jets, and they sucked. I wouldn't say completely his fault because they just suck. That's just what they do. Then he went back to he was San Francisco 49er defensive coordinator before then. So he's a very defensive-minded coach. That's pretty easy to say. They asked him in his press conference, what do you want your identity to be? What do you guys want? What do you want these guys to do when they're on the field? He said, I expect them to be fast, be violent, and talk a bunch of. I was like, you know what? That's good. You win the press conference, that's cool. Winning on the field's a lot different story. You can't be Dan Campbell, win the press conference, and win on the field. Now, Liam Cohen, coach of the Jaguars, last year, he pretty much lost the press conference, but he won on the field. So if this is any indication of that, it's going to be some long seasons. Now, the Titans do have $100 million in cap space. That's exciting. Where the Jets have to pay like $98 million to 3 players who don't even play for them anymore. Justin Fields, Sauce Gardner, and Aaron Rodgers. That sucks. Bad. Very bad. So that's interesting. Giants got John Harbaugh, I think 5 years, $100 million or something like that. Falcons got Stefanski. The Browns, they hired the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. His name escapes me at the moment. But Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, he kind of said, yeah, I'm out of here. Should have gave the job to me, which I can see his point. Been there a while. He's a good coordinator. He was a coach of the Lions. Didn't do that great, but did okay. Todd Monken's his name. Ravens hired Jesse Minter. He was the Chargers defensive coordinator. Needed a defensive guy with that defense that they have. Pittsburgh Steelers hired Mike McCarthy. He is a Pittsburgh native. He had some success with Aaron Rodgers, so that's good. Maybe Rodgers will come back for another year. I'd like to see it personally. Buffalo Bills promoted Joe Brady to head coach because they fired Sean McDermott like a bunch of idiots. Wow. Didn't see that coming. The Las Vegas Raiders still conducting their search, par for the course. That's Atlanta. They've already got Stefanski. Of course, my Cardinals still hadn't hired a coach. Sean McDermott's out there, boys. Let's go. I don't know what we're doing, but not hiring a coach was one of them. That's fine. So a lot of football going on, man. The playoffs, like I said earlier, have been fantastic this year. I hope the Super Bowl plays up to that as well. Halftime show, we've already went over that earlier. Bad Bunny, I'm sure he's a nice fella. I don't know him. Haven't met him. Not my style of music, but it's not ear piercing or anything. I've seen him on WWE, and he was fine. He's entertaining. That's cool. But unless you have Prince come back from the dead and play a halftime show, Michael Jackson, or unless you get Metallica on the stage, which they should have, because their home base is in San Francisco, why wouldn't you get Metallica? That makes no sense. Zero sense. They need to put me in charge of this. I would get fired after year 1, but maybe year 2. Maybe year 2, I would probably make it to then. Also, a little more on the sports front. Actually, this whole show is going to be sports. I got one music thing, I think. NASCAR is on its way back. The Bud Clash is Bowman Gray this weekend, pending snow, because I saw a picture the other day, and the entire track at Bowman Gray Stadium was snow. So then they cleared the track off. Well, the infield, it was snow. Guess what it's supposed to do this weekend? Snow. So I don't know what they're going to do. They've talked about moving it to Daytona and doing it on the small track on the inside, which would be fun. It'd be different. It'd be cool. I checked on some tickets for Daytona 500. Yeah, that's not happening this year. They're about to get the not the VIP experience really, but the concert and the fan zone and a ticket, 2 tickets to all that was $680. I'll watch it on TV. I will watch it on TV. Not sure the wife would want to go there for her anniversary anyway, because our anniversary is the day before. So she might not have. She might have put the kibosh on that one. Not really sure. She loves racing, but I don't know if she'd like that or not. So we held off because I ain't got $686. It is, but it is back. I'm ready. It's I love NASCAR. First of all, because it's racing, and people go fast, and there's fuel, and there's tire, and it smells great, and the season's really long, and I really like that. I like a long drawn-out season. That way I got something to do during the year. I get bored easy. And it's sports, and I love it. So there's that. So you guys comment to let us know what we're planning on to eat for the big game. What's your specialty? What's your go-to? My specialty, don't say nothing when I say what it is. Drunken wieners. I know what you're thinking. Stop it. They're just little smokies. You put them in the crock pot, a little bit of barbecue sauce, a little bit of Jack Daniels, George Dickel, whatever you want to put in there, Maker's Mark. Let's put a little bourbon in there, a little whiskey. Let them simmer, man. Let them simmer. Cook that alcohol out. Get infused with those little smokies, and they are fantastic. But first time I made them, I had to back off about 25% on that whiskey. It was strong, boy. I mean, strong. It was good, but it was very heavily on the whiskey flavor. So that's my specialty. Let us know what yours is, and if we like it, then we'll probably ask you to cook it for us. I'd love to eat it. I'll even have a beer with you. How about that? You bring the beer, though. I'm broke. All right, guys, take a break. Like I said, we got a lot of football ahead of us. We'll talk about a little bit about Bill Belichick. We got some other Hall of Fame finalists announced. We got a Common John update for you. We got Lunchtime Theater. We got some music news that happened semi-locally. Joe, the first ever Joes of the Week. Then we got a little question about Dennis Rodman, Derrick Rose. We'll get to that a little bit later. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck, episode 402. And that's me, the Travis Reed. Sans guest this week. It was just too cold to ask anyone to come in the studio. It's a garage. It is insulated, although not very well because I did it. But it is extremely. It's cold in here. I have heaters, but I just would not want to subject anyone to coming out here and listen to me ramble for 2 hours. Just stay at home and listen to me. Listen to me on 93.9 The Duck on Saturday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. The number one rated show on 93.9 The Duck from 8 to 10 p.m. on Saturday nights. Just throwing that out there. Toot my own horn. All right. So NFL named their semifinalists. Few familiar names on there. One of them being a man named Mr. Bill Belichick, famed coach of the New England Patriots. I'll go over some of his accolades, if you will. We'll just get started with that. So we've got 6 Super Bowl wins as a head coach, most of any time. 8 Super Bowl wins in total, NFL record. 2 of them for defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. 9 Super Bowl appearances of a head coach, or as a head coach, most of all time. 12 total Super Bowl appearances, including his time as a coordinator and assistant. Wins, 302 regular season wins as a head coach, third most in NFL history behind Don Shula and George Halas. Now, George Halas was with the Chicago Bears for 40 years. All right, Don Shula was with the Dolphins for 20-some-odd. Had the undefeated season back in 72 also. 31 playoff wins as a head coach, most in NFL history. 44 games coached in the playoffs, second most of any coach in NFL history behind Andy Reid. The number of games he has coached is just remarkable. Just with the Patriots, 296 wins, regular season and postseason. Second most by a coach with a single team in NFL history. Once again, George Halas. He was there 40 years. 333 wins as a head coach, regular and postseason. Second most behind Don Shula. 511 games as a head coach, regular season, postseason. Second most behind Don Shula. We got more. Coached one of 5 undefeated and untied regular seasons in NFL history with the Patriots. They did lose the Super Bowl against Eli and the Giants that year. 17 division titles, most by head coach in NFL history. 9 conference championships, most by a head coach in the Super Bowl era. 13 appearances in the conference championship, most by head coach in the Super Bowl era. 21 winning seasons as a head coach, tied for 4th most all-time behind George Halas, Curly Lambeau, and Don Shula. Ridiculous. So you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me you're owning a Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I just read off, and I didn't even read off all of them because I was boring myself. I read off most of those stats. And you're going to tell me, the voters for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that this man is not a first ballot Hall of Famer? What are your credentials for a coach being a first ballot Hall of Famer if that's not it? Now, I am not a Bill Belichick fan at all. I am not a Patriots fan at all. I am for the Super Bowl, but that's it. I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I didn't like most people, maybe Gronk because he was goofy on the Patriots. I like Gerard Mayo because he played for Tennessee when he was on the Patriots. He was a crap head coach, poor guy. Hated for him. Nice fella. I just don't get what are we missing here? Now, was he involved in Spygate and Deflategate? Yes. Okay. Okay, he cheated with Spygate. It had an assistant videotape signals. Man, they've been doing that since video was invented. They all did. When they started using the league, they all did it. Jimmy Johnson said himself on Pat McAfee, they used to do it. And then the guard would look over the sideline, the coach would give them a signal of what they're doing, and they would counter it. It's been going on for years. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Like Gaylord Perry, how many balls did he scuff? All of them is the answer. All of them. He's in the Hall of Fame. 320 some odd wins. I mean, what is the? Okay, he tried to gain an unfair advantage. He got caught, paid the price. Boom, we're done. We're going on with life. Deflategate. Okay, Tom Brady allegedly had the balls deflated. Did it gain him an unfair advantage? Yes. Could the other team done the same thing? Probably. Did they? Nope. And that's why everybody's mad. Because they cheated. They didn't get caught for a while, and then when they did, everybody got mad. Look here, he didn't win all these games because of those two things. There's no way. Absolutely no way. So for you to sit there and not vote for what he did on the field or on the sidelines and at the practice field and at the facility and making some of these guys who wouldn't even make an NFL roster into NFL Pro Bowlers and All Pros. Julian Edelman. Who saw that coming? None of y'all, because y'all didn't draft him. That's only he was a quarterback at Kent State. Come around with one of the best punt returners in the league, and then come around being one of the best wide receivers in the league. He took talent. He saw different talent in different people and got them to apply themselves. And you're mad about it? Like, the jealousy it runs strong in the NFL, in those people who have the votes. Like, I don't get where you would think he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's probably the same guy who didn't vote Ken Griffey Jr. as a unanimous Hall of Famer in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Remember that guy? And Griffey actually acknowledged him in his speech. And I think Ichiro, too, I believe, said something. So, like, Mariano Rivera is the only baseball player to ever be unanimous Hall of Famer, which is completely stupid. He was a great player, but he shouldn't be the only unanimous. Hank Aaron wasn't even a unanimous, which is dumb. So we're going to sit there, have this grand Hall of Fame, which I've been to, and it's fantastic. You should go to it. I don't know if you want to now because what they're doing to Curly Bill here. Are you mad because he's got a young girlfriend? Is that what it is? You tell me. You tell me, and I think we'll hear what's been going on. I've seen a few things today about what maybe the issue was. But, I mean, come on, man. This is the greatest coach of all time. The most Super Bowl wins of any coach ever. In the 100-year existence of the NFL. I mean, come on. I mean, you had George Halas. George Halas, his initials are on the Chicago Bears jersey, GSH. That's how much I think of this man. He was the coach for the Chicago Bears for 40 years. And Belichick was only with the Patriots around 20, 25-ish maybe. I'm not looking at it. I'm just off the top of my head. And he accomplished more in half the time than George Halas did. Or as much, I would say more. And you're going to sit there and tell me you got this grand hall with all these busts and all these jerseys and these clipboards and whistles and cleats and helmets and exhibits that you're not going to put the greatest coach in the Super Bowl era on the first ballot? Where teams that despise the Patriots are like, yeah, he's the best coach ever. He's the best coach in the league. You know, even Stephen A. Smith, you know, he was like, you know, there's some guys out there that I cover, and they can just plain kiss my butt. But if they come up in the Hall of Fame, I got to vote for him because he's voting for what they did on the field, not your personal feelings. Like he even mentioned LeBron. He's like, if I had a vote in the NBA Hall of Fame and LeBron's name come up, I got to vote for him. It's LeBron. He's the all-time leading scorer. He's played for 23 seasons. Like, you got to do that. You have no choice. It's your duty. That's why they give you the votes, to make the right decision. Well, folks, you made the wrong decision. Complete wrong decision. Which y'all have made them before. But goodness gracious. Like, this is ridiculous. You know, it's you got Tom Brady, the Zen master. You got him all flustered, PO'd. You know what happens when Tom Brady gets mad after midnight? He probably eats a carb. I'm not really sure. But I was flabbergasted when I read it. I'm like, there's no possible way you leave that man out of the Hall of Fame. That's like leaving Dale Earnhardt out of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. That's like leaving Ken Griffey Jr. out of the Hall of Fame. It's like leaving Babe Ruth or Ty Cobb out of the Hall of Fame. Although you're leaving Pete Rose out. That's another story, and I went on rants about that. It's like leaving Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, if we're going to go coaches, out of the Hall of Fame. It's like Red Auerbach, leaving him out of the Hall of Fame in basketball. That's what you're doing because you're a self-serving bunch of idiots. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And that's what you'll pay. Somehow you'll pay for it. Something's going to happen. You got one guy, Bill Polian, he's saying, the reports were he was telling folks to not vote for Bill because of Spygate and Deflategate. Then he comes out and he says, no, I voted for Bill. I wanted him to get in. Then it comes out where he says, well, I don't remember who I voted for. Honey, it's only been 2 weeks. I know you're old, but dadgum, hon. If you can't remember who you voted for 2 weeks ago, you probably don't need to be voting. I think we probably need to revoke his voter ID card. We need to be voting in elections, no matter which side. Questionable right there, questionable. And one fella, I don't remember who it was, so I can't cite my work. I apologize. He said that Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick were both on the ballot. And so he voted for Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft wouldn't have what he has if it wasn't for Bill Belichick. Now, you say, well, he hired Bill Belichick. Yes, he did hire Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick ran the team. That's why you got what you got. So, I don't believe in that argument. There is a little argument, I'll admit that. But still, you got an opportunity to put the greatest coach ever in NFL history as a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you're not going to do it. And I also saw where the Hall of Fame said that if there's been any wrongdoings or any shady stuff going on, that they're going to look into it, and those voters will lose their voting privileges. I, for one, if they lose their voting privilege, I throw my name in the hat to be on this voting committee. I think I would do a fantastic job, better than at least 10 of those, or more than 10, because that's how he missed it. He missed it by like 11, 12, whatever it was. You got to have 40 out of 50. He didn't get 40 out of 50. Without collusion, how did you miss it by? How did he miss it by that much? There's some personal feelings going on here. Self-serving bunch of idiots. It smells terrible. It looks terrible. It's a bad look on the league, to be honest with you. To me, it's a black eye. And I don't even like the guy at all. I did like his press conferences. He was kind of a jerk in them, which I thought was hilarious. But sometimes when I wanted him to talk about what he should have talked about in the press conference, he didn't do it. But it's still fun. I mean, it was kind of one of those double-edged swords. Like, well, it's funny, but tell us something, dude. Come on. But I didn't like the guy. I didn't like him at all. I wanted him to lose everything. But I put my personal feelings aside. It's like Derek Jeter. I can't stand Derek Jeter. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer in baseball? Absolutely. Is he one of the best players to play the game? In my opinion, yes, sir. Maybe all the stats ain't there, but he won. And he won a lot. So, I mean, what are you going to do with that? It's the same thing. I take my feelings out of it. As a serious radio journalist, and call spade a spade. And the spade is Bill Belichick should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. So there's my rant. Thanks for coming to my Travis Talk. And I think I'll get them to change their mind. I've drafted a letter, 1,000-word letter, all capital letters. So I'm shouting at people, telling them to make this right. Whether they do or not, that's on them. We shall see. I don't know. I just don't know. All right, take another break. We come back. We got some more Hall of Fame talk. Football, or the football variety. We'll sprinkle some baseball in there because I like comparing that. Although it's apples to oranges, but apple orange juice probably tastes like crap, so never mind. That's not a good analogy. We'll have some lunchtime theater, a little bit of music news for the week. We'll have the first ever Joes of the Week. First recipient, and it's kind of a shocker, but not a shocker. And then we got a question about Dennis Rodman and Derrick Rose. What do they have in common? What should they have in common? Or what shouldn't they have in common? And then we'll find out what I have learned, which will probably be 0. All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck, episode 402, Sports. Here we are, Studio 11, freezing my hind end off. One part of my body is warm because this heater on this side decided not to work. This one over here is working. So it sucks. So that's why we don't have a guest this week. Just too cold to get anybody out. Didn't want to make anybody come here and freeze or even have to be out and walk in the door and be cold. So no guest, just me, and it was sports. And most people don't like talking sports. There's a few of them, but they're the ones that are my friends are in bed by now. So we talked last segment about Hall of Fame snubbing, if you will, Bill Belichick. They've also announced their 15 modern-era players as the finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. We'll go over them right quick, and then I'll let you know, in my professional opinion, what I think about it. Now, I'm going in order as they it looks like alphabetical order. So we're going that, no favoritism whatsoever. I'm just getting it. All right, first one, Willie Anderson, offensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. Great player. Played for, 13 years? 12 years? Played for the Bengals and the Ravens. Great offensive tackle. Don't think, and he's been on the ballot several times, 5 times. I think this class is just too strong for him to get in there. Was a great lineman. Don't know if he'll make it, but he's one of those fringe guys. Next one up, Drew Brees, quarterback, 01-05 to San Diego Chargers. Now the LA Chargers, 06-20 for the New Orleans Saints. Hands down, first ballot. Led the league in passing so many times. Just an astronomical amount of games in a row with a touchdown pass. It was like 3.5 seasons in a row he had a touchdown pass in every game. That's ridiculous. And he almost beat that record again. Like he's got the top 2. So that's a lot. That's a lot of touchdown passes. He led the league in most 300-yard, 400-yard passing games. Hands down, 100%. Absolutely first ballot Hall of Famer. Jahari Evans, guard. I don't think so. I don't think he's got it. Good player. I just don't think he's going to make it. This one, way too strong for him to get in. Larry Fitzgerald, my all-time favorite NFL player. Absolutely lock first ballot Hall of Famer. Interesting note, for his career, he has more passes dropped. Strike that. Reverse it. He has more tackles than passes dropped. You know that? And he's an offensive player. That's crazy. He's number 2 on the all-time receptions and yardage list behind the GOAT, Jerry Rice. I don't think his records will ever be touched. So, yes, he is first ballot. Next one, Frank Gore. Man, he played a long time, racked up a bunch of yards. I think he's 5th all-time, something like that. I think he's got to go in. I really do. Longevity, 500 yards and over 500 scrimmage yards in 13 seasons in a row or some crap like that. It was just stupid saying. All right, yeah, that's good. Torrey Holt, one of them been on the ballot several times, man. He was a playmaker. Has been on there 7 years. 7 times. Feel like that, one day, man, he'll get there because he was a great player, greatest show on turf. I think he'll get there. I just don't think it's going to be this year. Luke Kuechly, absolute monster. Only played 8 years with Carolina Panthers. Smart, one of the smartest football players to ever play. This class is too much. Eli Manning never led really the NFL in any kind of passing stats, but he is a 2-time Super Bowl champion and he is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. And he had something like 34 comeback wins in his career. That's just ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous at the amount of comeback wins. Great player. His star shined bright when it needed to, but I don't know. Terrell Suggs, just an absolute disruptor on the football field. I did play for my Cardinals in 2019, only the 1 year. I think he deserves to get in there sometime because he changed. When he was in the game, he changed the offensive game, team's game plan. So I think one day he'll get there. Adam Vinatieri, all-time leading scorer in NFL. Man, you kind of got to sometime or another get him in there. I mean, he's all-time leading scorer. He kicked for 47 years. Most field goals made, most points scored in the season. I think you got to take a hard look at that. Reggie Wayne, another one that has been on the ballot, I think 5 years, 7 years. Excuse me, I was wrong. 7 years. Prolific receiver, top 10 receiving yards all time. I think it's one you really got to look at. He needs to be in, I think. Kevin Williams, defensive tackle, great player, just too strong this class. Jason Witten, tight end. I don't think so. I don't think this year. I think eventually he'll get there. I just don't think this year is going to be his year. Darren Woodson, great player for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's in the Ring of Honor there in Dallas with the Cowboys. I don't think he'll ever get there, but he was a very good player. And then Marshall Yonda, guard tackle for the Ravens, great offensive lineman, one of the best of his era. Not sure that this is going to be the year, but maybe he's one of those fringe guys as well. So my pick is going to be Drew Brees. There's 4 of them. You get 4. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, and I'm probably going to go with Reggie Wayne. That's my feelings on them. Some of them, man, I just don't think they're there, like a Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly. Kuechly didn't play that long, so that kind of hurt, I think, a little bit. He was a disruptor. I mean, he freaking let him have it, man. Eli Manning, he was the man when it was time. That's for sure. So he has a lot of Giants passing records, but really no NFL records. But I mean, he won the big game twice, so that's good. Vinatieri, like I said, all-time leading scorer. That'll get there one day. So I think those are your fringe guys there at the end. Jason Witten, fringe guy. He'll get there. He has to. He was one of the greatest tight ends of his era, if not the greatest. All right. So I looked up some Hall of Fame snubs for the NFL, and a lot of these are in, but it just took them a while. And 2 are on the 1 and 2 on this list are eligible right now, and then we just talked about them. Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt. That I went all about that. Now, number 3, Ken Anderson. He's the all-time leading scorer for the Bengals, but I wasn't old enough to remember that much, so I don't know. Hines Ward, he's one of those. He was the best player on his team. Now is in a Super Bowl MVP. Is that enough? I don't know. He was a great player. It was fun to watch, that's for sure. Sterling Sharp finally made it, which he should have. He's one of those ones where the career got cut short because of a neck injury. If he'd had a full career, I mean, he'd probably be right there with Rice. He'd probably be above Fitzgerald. Roger Craig, first player to get 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in the same season, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He was an important player on those 49er dynasty teams. Not sure. First player to score 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Not sure if that's ever going to make it. Lester Hayes, he was just a bad man. Bad man. Not sure if that's going to make it or not, but he was a great player. Clay Matthews, played a bunch of games in a row. Best player on his team, but he played for the Browns, unfortunately. I think that kind of hurt him. They were kind of good a few of the years, so I'll give him that. He did play in 3 AFC Championship games, but a small market team. L.C. Greenwood, don't know much about it. He was part of the Steel Curtain. A lot of those guys are in the Hall of Fame from the Steel Curtain for the Steelers defense, but I don't know. Jim Plunkett, great player, Super Bowl MVP. Not sure if that happened, if it will happen. It may already have. I don't know. Should be. So maybe he's not maybe there. Joe Jacoby, this guy here, man, one of the Hogs, definitely should be Hall of Fame. Steve Smith, he was a bad man. He was a little bitty dude. Maybe. He did more for a guy his size than they should have. He played like he was 6'3", and he was, 5'10". He was a bad dude. Bad dude. Pat Swilling, one of the greatest pass rushers of all time, 107.5 sacks. Yeah, once again, it's one of those maybe, maybe not. Tommy Novus, I have no idea who that is. I apologize, Tommy. Jim Marshall, he ran the wrong way in the Super Bowl or the playoffs. Maybe. Maybe not. And there were some great Vikings teams that he played on with Bud Grant as the coach. Anquan Bolden, he was one of the toughest receivers ever. I'm not sure it's Hall of Fame worthy, but he was one of my favorite players to watch. 100%. Otis Taylor, don't know enough. Steve Tasker, if you had just a category for just special teams, I'd put Tasker in there. But he caught some balls. He caught some balls. I'll say that, but I'm not sure. Don't think that. Phil Simms, decent quarterback, great football knowledge, as evident on CBS when he does the football pregame show. Love Phil Simms. Love his number. He's number 11. But he played, make a good point, he played in the same area as Montana, Elway, and Marino. That kind of hurt him. And I think LT kind of took away from him a little bit, in my opinion. Joe Theismann, man, not really sure that he was a good quarterback. Won MVP. Just there's a lot on there that need to be on there. And some of them may have got this article's a little bit old. It was a couple years old, but it had a couple players on there I wanted to discuss. So we'll see what happens. I hate when they get there's just not enough spots, man. You only get 4 a year, and there's just not enough spots on there. And there's been so many great players that have played in the NFL that deserve to be on there, or in there, I should say. So, is this the year for a long shot? And who are we considering the long shot? Or are we considering Eli a long shot? Are we considering Luke Kuechly a long shot? That's subjective. My opinion is not subjective. My opinion is correct. We shall see. That comes. I think we get it announced February 6th at the NFL Honors. So we'll get to know what happens. So there's that, and there's I went on this rant just a couple weeks ago about baseball. Hey, let's get them roided up dudes in there. You know what I mean? Let's get Clemens, and let's get McGuire. Canseco doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. He was a great player. He's fun, but let's get Sosa in there. Manny, we need all those guys in there. A-Rod, let's get them. Let's do it. And it needs to happen. And first and foremost, you better put Pete Rose in before you put those guys in. I promise that you'll have a ride on your hands if that happens. I will write a letter, along with I'm sure other people have wrote a letter. Now, before we go to break, I'm gonna touch back on the football. There's three interesting names to me that may or may not be in there in this list. I don't know how old it is. I think it's fairly new. Coaching or contributor snubs. Mike Shanahan, 2-time Super Bowl champion with Denver. I think he was on a staff with the Raiders when they won a Super Bowl, possibly. Like 82, 83. Tom Coughlin, 2-time Super Bowl winner with the Giants. And Marty Schottenheimer, 8th all-time in wins among NFL head coaches. Do you think any of those deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? That's three big names, and I'm not, names don't mean anything. Like Jimmy Johnson, he made it. He's one of the bigger name coaches that's ever come in the NFL, but he's not one of the all-time winningest coaches. Jeff Fisher has more wins than Jimmy Johnson. So that's kind of, just food for thought. Think about that. I think if you win 2 Super Bowls, then if we're going 2 Super Bowls, then we got to talk about Eli because he won 2 Super Bowls. So we'll figure it out, man. February 6th, NFL Honors. We'll find all that news out. All right, we're going to take a break. We come back. We have got a Common John update. We got a lunchtime theater. It's an odd one this week for me. We got some music news. Joes of the week and a burning question for all you out there, all you Joes out there. to see what you think about that. All you sports-loving Joes. All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck. This is episode 402 with me, the Travis Reed. Cold up in here in Studio 11. We are sans guest this evening because of the cold weather. I didn't want to ask anybody to come out and brave the cold. We've braved enough cold the past week. Let's keep everybody inside. And it's going to be cold again tonight. It'll be like 8 degrees or something stupid like that. So everybody stay safe. Stay bundled up because it's going to get cold. I don't mind cold weather too much. I do get colder now than I used to when I was younger. I get the metal in my neck. But goodness gracious, this is ridiculous. I am over it. Completely over it. All right, guys, Common John update. The Sam Grow concert, because of the winter weather warning, got rescheduled March 21st, Saturday, March 21st. Doors will be at 6. Music starts at 7. All tickets will be honored for the new date. No action required from you. Sorry about the inconvenience. Just trying to make sure everybody was safe out there on the road. Did not need to be out in that weather, and the roads were ridiculous. And a lot of these folks were coming in from far away, Murfreesboro, Winchester, Chattanooga. So we didn't need all those folks on the road. So I think they made a good call and rescheduled that for March 21st. All the ticket holders, you've been emailed full details, so make sure you check your email and see what's going on with that. But hey, if you've never seen Sam Grow and you're missing it this time, I'm sorry. Like it's a treat, man. That dude can sing. He can sing. But Common John's back up and running after that winter weather. They kind of closed for a day, but they got right back at it the next day. I kind of want to highlight the mess hall, man. We talk about them all the time. They do a lot. They do a lot of stuff in that kitchen, and they got this one. It's a daggum pulled pork nachos with the trimmings. Got a little barbecue drizzle on it. They're messy, but it's worth it. I mean, to me, if you get a nacho that's not messy, did you really even eat nachos? You know what I mean? Like, that's not it. You got pulled pork, beer cheese, fire-roasted corn, black beans, diced tomatoes, green onions, shredded cheese, and then that aforementioned barbecue drizzle. They look fantastic, and I think we're going to have to write something in the contract where I'm going to pick a food of the week, and they bring me something to eat over here while I'm doing the show. I think that would be a fantastic idea, but that's just me. But you guys need to go check out the mess hall there at Common John Brewing Company. They're wearing it out up there. I mean, killing it. They kill it with the beer already. They got them strippies and chippies, them chicken tenders and kettle chips. I just like that name, strippies and chippies. I think it's hilarious. Hilarious. They're canning up the Caverns beer. I saw that update the other day. They canned up an actual metric ton of Heathen Child the other day as well. It was all that was in there. The Caverns Limestone Lager. It is a fantastic beer. You guys need to try it if you haven't. If you haven't, I don't know what you're waiting on. Trust me, coming from me, I'm a professional. You would do yourself a favor by trying the Caverns Limestone Lager. Get on it. If you haven't tried any of the beers, what is your problem? They got them to go, too. You don't have to just go there and drink. You can get a 4-pack to go home. You can get your growler filled up. Take it home with you. Be where it's warm. But, if you want to freeze, go ahead. I'm not freezing. Don't forget, guys, every Wednesday night, Single Night and Unhinged Roadshow. Thursday night, you got the karaoke with Sugar Shane's and Back Porch Productions. We've got Friday night, Saturday night, we got music. Inside now, a little too cold to do the music outside, which I love, man. Outdoor show at Common John in the summertime. Shoot, you can't beat that. You can't beat it with a stick. If you can, then I'd like you to watch you beat it with a stick. That's a lot of people out there. So it's a great time, family friendly. You don't have to drink to be there. You don't have to drink to have a good time. Not just there anywhere. So you need to go check them out, man. They also have Loco Cigars coming out. They were there last Wednesday night. Selection of tasty cigars. What's better than sitting down on the patio under those heaters they got, smoking a fine cigar, having a good beer? Man, chopping it up with everybody out there, meeting some new friends. That's a good thing, man. You'll meet people. I've met so many people at Common John that I'm still friends with now. Like it's pretty cool to have that something like that in your community where you can go hang out, and you could be people that at different walks of life, and you'll wind up friends. It's not hard. Just go. So that is at Common John Brewing Company, 210 Woodbury Highway, right here in Manchester. They got great pizzas. They've got some sandwiches. They got the strippers and chippies. They got pork rinds, hot dogs. They got pretty much anything you could dream up in the kitchen that goes well with beer. And just ask Christian, hey, does this pair with what beer would this meal pair with? Christian can tell you. He knows. That man knows a lot. So there's your Common John update for the week. We appreciate the sponsorship and the friendship that we get from all the good folks at Common John Brewing Company. All the patrons, blue collar, white collar, no collar, locally brewed and owned. So y'all check them out. Common John Brewing Company, commonjohnbc.com. All right, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we've got your Lunchtime Theater. Weird one for me this week. Kind of weird, but I hadn't watched much TV, but this caught my eye, and I couldn't stop watching. Got some music news. We got the Joes of the Week, first ever, and then we got a Dennis Rodman, Derrick Rose question. See what you guys think about that. And then we'll find out what I have learned, if anything, probably nothing. You're listening to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company, here on 93.9 The Duck. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company, here on 93.9 The Duck, episode 402. Me, the Travis Reed, in here in a balmy, it's freezing, Studio 11. One side of my body's warm, the other side of my body's cold. It's a weird sensation. I don't recommend it. It's a great sensation ever. Well, we could tamp the Trump. All right. Lunchtime Theater this week. I've not watched a lot of TV. I've been playing a lot of games. I've been doing my my Gran Turismo 7 online racing, or trying to do online. My internet keeps messing up. Then I've been playing a little Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That is a fun time. You get to kill people as a Viking. It's awesome. Don't try this at home, though. So, not everybody, most people love the TikToks and the Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels. And if you ever notice, whatever you talked about will kind of jump into your Reels. I don't know how we got on it. Probably talking about video games one day. So this one cat, he's got a baseball game. I guess it's Major League MLB 25 the show, or 26 the show. I'm not sure. I think it's 25. 26 ain't come out So he takes random players, like players who aren't fast and players who are fast, but most of the time players who aren't fast. And he'll let people that watch his channel pick to hit an inside the park home run to see how many tries it takes. Now, he does it at the Polo Grounds. The Polo Grounds is a famed older baseball stadium. I believe it was in New York way back in the day. The fences were just ginormous, long. It was a humongous field. I don't know the exact dimensions, but it was just huge. So, and he'll do it until he gets it done. He's went up to 90-something tries. And I can't stop watching it. And I feel like a complete weirdo. Because I used to make fun of kids for watching other people play video games. And now here I am searching it out, trying to find this guy. Because I think I follow him, but I can't remember his name. So I'm like, oh, I'm lost, and I get frustrated. But then he'll take like a guy like Ricky Henderson, who was one of the fastest players in Major League Baseball history, all-time stolen base king. See how many tries it takes him to get in the park home run in a smaller park. Or see how many times it takes a pitcher to hit a home run in their home park. Like, where does he come up with this stuff, and why do I like it so much? It's got me kind of worried. Like, it's not consumed my life, but it's consumed my real watching. Like, I'm watching a dude who sounds like he's probably around my age play baseball and do imaginary things in an imaginary game, and it's stupendous is what it is. I love it. I can't remember the name of the channel. Just type that in, and you'll find it. It is oddly satisfying that you can get, Daniel Vogelbach to inside the park home run. His speed is like a 30 rating on this game. Or then it took, Ricky Henderson, who was, got a speed rating of like 96. It took him like 13 tries to get inside the park home run at a smaller field. So it's cool. Then he'll take another player, and they have to hit how long does it take for them to hit the cycle? Like, it's the most ridiculous thing I've really ever watched, but I can't stop watching. I don't know. I know what's wrong with me, but I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry, but you should try it. You really should. If you like video games and baseball, I think it's just hilarious. Give it a shot. I won't I won't say it's worth a watch, but just try it and see what you think about it. If you hate it, don't blame me. Blame yourself for listening to me. That's on you. Silly rabbit. All right, so there's my lunchtime theater. Like I said, a very odd one, but I can't stop it. It's like those Facebook reels, man. Like even on and TikTok's worse, man. I get on this guy name. I got to be careful. I've said it before. Tuck Fart. I love this guy. He's like from Kentucky. He's an ex-meth head. I think he's like a current, beer drinker, alcohol drinker, but he doesn't do drugs anymore. Hilarious. Just some of the crap he says, I'm like, I'm related to this guy. I know this person, but I don't know him, but I know somebody just like him. So, and this guy doing the video games, that's the stuff I would do. Just make imaginary stuff up and like, you're not, and that's the thing is, like, I'm not accomplishing, it's like the racing thing. I'm not accomplishing anything. It's only for me, but it's still entertaining, and I got nobody to tell about it because nobody cares except for Tooth, because he does the same thing. I tell Megan about it. She's like, oh, yeah, okay. I don't blame her. I would do the same thing. Anyway, I digress. So, music news. The other day, I saw a post from a friend of mine on Facebook, Charlie Jones, and he's a big metalhead. I've met him at like Exit 111, and then through a mutual friend, and we had a common ground with the music. And I saw him at the Metallica concert last summer. So he posted something on the Book of Face there. And January 17th, 2026, proclaimed by the city of La Vergne, Tennessee. That's Laverne, French for trailer park. Laverne, Tennessee, celebrating the legendary metal band's visit for an immersive fan event, Let There Be Shred. Coincided with the release of their self-titled, quote, final album and farewell tour. So now, January 17th, which is my uncle's birthday, and Kid Rock's birthday, is now Megadeth Day in Laverne, Tennessee. How freaking cool is that? Because apparently, I never known news before. Megadeth have, I don't know how true this is. I'll have to do some research. But apparently they have some houses in Nashville. Some of them live in Nashville. So it really wasn't a bad drive. And I guess some of the folks in La Virgin knew that they were close. And like, hey, let's make this Megadeth Day. Which I think was neat because they do deserve some accolades. It is Megadeth, been around for 40 years plus. But hey, man, they're getting some flowers. I like it, man. I really do. And this is their quote final album. I do hope they do one final tour with Metallica. That would be great if they did that. That would just be full circle for me as a fan. I think it'd be, and a lot of us as fans will be full circle moment. So I just thought that was neat, man. Megadeth Day, January 17th, there in La Virgin, Tennessee. Like I said, that's Laverne, Tennessee, French for trailer park. Very, very neat story. It was real cool. Some fans got to go take pictures, autographs, and whatnot. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see Laverne to do that. Very big. I think it's very big for metal. Very big for the city. You know, metalheads get kind of a bad rap, although we're the nicest people at our concerts. Country's the worst. It's good to see what good, metalheads can come together and do. And I think we get a bad rap sometimes. Or that, when I say we, me, the collective we. And it's good to see something like that. So that's awesome. Congratulations to Dave and the boys in Megadeth. Good on you. All right, guys, we're going to take another little short pause for the cause. And we're going to reveal our first ever Joes of the Week. Then we got a burning question for all you Joes out there. With Dennis Rodman and Derrick Rose action. See what's going on there. Then I'll find out what I've learned. You're listening to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck. All right, guys, welcome back to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck, episode 402, Sports. Here we are, guys, episode 4. I already said that. All right, guys, welcome back to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck, episode 402. Me, the Travis Reed, freezing in Studio 11. Clark Griswold staring at me. Kyle Busch staring at me. The cardboard cutouts are not real. It's not real, I promise. We have been talking sports all evening long. Had a good time so far. Now, it's time for our newest segment, Joes of the Week. This week, and this is not because this is the parent company for the radio station that we are currently on. But we are giving the first ever Joes of the Week to Thunder Radio 107.9 FM there in Manchester, Tennessee. And I'm going to do this for a couple different reasons. For one, they were on top of the school patrol. Everybody laid off of Holly because it's her fault when schools don't get called out. Then she handled it like a champ when school was back in session. And everybody was mad at her. She did fine. But what I'm talking about, I really, really like how their investigative reporting. I think Katie Northcott's doing a lot of it. But they're not, and I don't mean this in a bad way, they're not pulling any punches. They're getting the facts, no matter what the subject, no matter who it's about, no matter who's involved in it, they're off getting the facts. So if you're not following Thunder Radio, you need to be. I followed it before when I was on the competitor. When we were competitors, I followed it. So you need to follow because you're going to get good information, and it's truthful, and they're not playing favorites with this. They're doing it, and they're not going in and being rude. By no means, but they're just telling the truth, and that's what I like about it. And they're holding people accountable, holding people's feet to the fire, just like they should, like any journalist should do, except for me, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I think that's great. You know, more of the Joes of the Week are going to be more fun, and they do, and this page is full of fun stuff too. You got a lot like the border battle between Warren County and Coffee County. They're doing a bang up job with that. Just love it, and they do great with the kids, their birthdays, and this, that, and the other. But this reporting, this investigative reporting, is just truly fantastic. So it's a must follow for sure. And I just saw it, and I missed this. They have the final round to enter the Chick-fil-A halftime beats battle for your chance to win a large nugget tray and a gallon of sweet tea from Chick-fil-A Manchester for your Super Bowl party. Final matchup, Prince versus Michael Jackson. The answer is and will always be Prince. 100%. Always be Prince. Michael Jackson is the GOAT, but not when it comes to Super Bowl halftime performances. It's Prince. It is what it is. Now they asked Prince, it was raining, hey, what, at the Super Bowl halftime show, hey, what do you need from us? As he's tuning his guitar, and he said, more rain. Bam! Kept going. That's a professional right there. So, anyway, check out Thunder Radio, their Facebook page. They are the first ever Joes of the Week. Congratulations. You win Joe of the Week. That's what you won. But like I said, I'm really, really enjoying the coverage of the day-to-day, whether it be politics, whether it be, a road being messed up or minutes from a meeting. They're going in, and they want to know answers, and I'm really, really, really digging it. Congratulations. Kudos to you guys. Keep up the good work. It's awesome. So appreciate it very much. All right, guys, another break. We come back. We got some burning questions for you. We're going to ask you about Dennis Rodman and Derrick Rose of Chicago Bull fame. We got a couple. They just come up at work the other day. I really want to know y'all's thoughts on this. Which way would you go? So we'll get to that when we come back. Then we'll wrap this bad boy up and find out what I've learned. You're listening to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck. All right, guys, welcome back to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck, episode 402. We're talking sports. Studio 11, me, the Travis Reed, freezing cold. Been sports all night long, keeping me warm. I'm digging it. I had this Dr. Pepper Zero, and it was Luke cold. It wasn't in the refrigerator. I brought it out here. This thing is cold as ice now. It gets really cold. That's how cold it is out here. I can't see my thermometer. I think it says 40. I think it's 40 degrees in here. I'm gonna get coughed through cold. Is what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Goodness gracious. Hey, 40's better than 30 or 20 out here, so I can't complain about that. All right, so if you're an NBA fan, you saw Derrick Rose got his jersey, the number 1, retired by the Chicago Bulls this past week. I thought it was neat how they did the lady who has stitched every banner that has went into the United Center since like 89 or something. She hand stitches them all. And that was a pretty neat little story. But Derrick Rose got his jersey retired, and he was a great player for the Chicago Bulls. Daggum career got cut short by a knee injury. Youngest MVP ever in the league. Just tremendous upside to this fella. And like I said, knee injuries, he just couldn't do it anymore. Play University of Memphis, stand out there. Now, did he deserve his jersey retired. Now, he played for them from 2008 to 2016, I believe it was. His career was not as long as some, but I'm trying to find the exact number. He played from 8 to 2024. Played for the Grizzlies. I don't think he played very much, though. I'm trying to figure out the Bulls. I had it pulled. There you go. 2008 to 2016. So he played 8 years with the Bulls. Nice little run. I think he's more the what if category, but that city loved them some Derrick Rose. I mean, loved Derrick Rose. So I get his jersey being retired. I wish he could have stuck it out a little longer and his knees would have held up. I don't think he would have been as popular as Michael Jordan by no means in Chicago, but I think he'd been more popular than he already was. And he's in the wrestling business. He's over. He's completely over with the fans in Chicago. Still is. They love that man to death. So congratulations to him for one. Great career, even though it was cut short. Jersey retirement, that's a gigantic deal. That's huge. I for one think he's deserving of it. I wish it had been a little bit longer, but he is deserving of it. So the question was asked to me, does Dennis Rodman deserve to have his number 91 jersey retired in Chicago? My answer was an emphatic no. He only played in Chicago for 3 years. Now, the guy who brought the question, he doesn't really remember the Detroit Pistons and the San Antonio Spurs days. Now, I said, if the Detroit Pistons want to retire number 10, sure, because he won back-to-backs with them in the late 80s. I don't think he deserves in San Antonio at all, or Dallas, or anywhere else he played. But in Chicago, an emphatic no. Absolutely not. He was a key part to their three-peat, their second three-peat, 100%. Do I think they could have won it without him? Yes. Did it make it easier with him on there? Absolutely, yes. He was a great player, great defender, great agitator, one of the best rebounders, if not the best rebounder to ever play in the NBA. But he's only there for 3 years, and I just don't think that constitutes getting your jersey retired. To me, jersey retirement is a long career with the same team, make significant contributions on the court, which Rodman did, significant contributions off the court or off the field, depending on the sport, and being over with the fans. Now, I think Rodman was over with the fans. I had a Dennis Rodman t-shirt. It was his face with lime green hair on the back. He was over. He was great. He just wasn't there long enough, in my opinion. Now, if he got his jersey retired tomorrow, would I lose my marbles and go off and write letters like I'm going to about Bill Belichick? No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, all right, cool, I get it. I mean, it's number 91. Nobody's ever going to wear the number 91 anyway. That's why that's one of the cool things about Dennis Rodman. He picked number 91. Cool. That's an odd number. Very cool to me. But nobody's ever going to wear it again anyway. So, but I still don't think it needs to be retired. He was not there long enough. Contributions are there, just not the body of work in that city is not there. To me, in my opinion. Love Dennis Rodman. I enjoyed watching him play. Wish he hadn't lost his mind a couple times, kicked that cameraman in the gonads, and this, that, and the other. But great player. Love watching him play. Just don't think he should have his jersey retired in Chicago. What do you guys think? Did Derrick Rose deserve to have his Bulls jersey retired? And does Dennis Rodman deserve to have his jersey retired? I say yes. I've changed my mind on Derrick Rose. I say yes now. I say no on Dennis Rodman. 100%. And bonus question, where does LeBron get his jersey retired? Does he get it in L.A., Cleveland, or Miami? All three? Two of the three or one of the three? And which ones are they? let me know. Shoot me a comment. I'll make a post about it. We can discuss amongst ourselves. Figure out what we'll solve the sports world's problems around here, folks. That's what we do. Not really. We create more arguments than we solve problems, but that's what we're pretty good at. All right. Now that's done. We come back. We're going to find out what in the world I have learned, if anything, this week. I'm going to have to think long and hard about it because, boys, I'm really not sure if I did. Because I'm by myself, so it's kind of weird. Very weird. I thought somebody else was talking. I'm sorry. My bad. All right, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the Everyday Joe Show, brewed by the Common John Brewing Company here on 93.9 The Duck, episode 402. We've been talking sports all night long here, Studio 11, freezing, cold as you know what. But we've made it. We have persevered. We've done a show all by our lonesome 2 weeks in a row. I did promise more guests this year, and we will have them, but I didn't want to, as I said earlier 3 or 4 times, I just want to reiterate the point. We are going to have more guests. I just did not want to subject anyone to being out in the cold this evening. It is brutally cold. It's going to be brutally cold for for the foreseeable future. So we're going to do our best to get some guests in here. February 12th, Andrew McCormick, owner of Good Game Arcade, will be our guest. That'll be fun, chop it up with him, see what he's been up to, and see what Good Game Arcade's all about. So we got to talk sports. That's my wheelhouse. I love talking sports. We do it at work most of the time. Sports or sports cards or sports memorabilia or sports trivia or what have you. We run the gamut on the sports. I love it. If it's got a stick and a ball, I like it. If it's got a steering wheel, I like it too. If it's got handlebars, I'm in. Let's go. All about. Now, the hard task of figuring out what I have learned, that's a difficult one right there. I'm not really sure what I have learned tonight. I've learned that it is cold out here. I did learn there's more Hall of Fame snubs than I would care to admit for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I wish they all could get in there, except for the ones I never heard of. I'd have to do some research. I apologize to you guys who I didn't know. I'll write you a letter apologizing. So that's really what I've learned. I've learned that Common John's got some good looking food that I'm desperately needing to go try, or try it again, I should say. I've already had it. I need more of it. I did learn that I need to negotiate into the contract where Common John delivers me food when I do the show. I think that's not a terrible ask. I really think that's doable. It's not too much to ask. I'm a fat boy, and I need to eat. Dadgummit. Let's get this going. What else did I learn? I learned that Daytona is a couple weeks away. I learned that they may move the Budweiser Shootout, the Clash, to Daytona. And I learned that Thunder Radio was our first ever Joes of the Week. So congratulations to those guys. Your prize, grand prize, is your Joes of the Week. So congratulations. Good job. You first ever. First ballot, man. First ballot Hall of Fame Thunder Radio. Proud of you. I know you're proud of yourselves. Congratulations. So, guys, that's going to do it here for episode 402. We're going to wrap this thing up, go to the house, get warm, get ready to do it all again next week. We'll keep you up to date on the guests. If we have one next week, we're going to check the temperatures out if it's cold again. May not be a new guest, maybe a returning guest because they know what to expect. we'll keep you up to date on all that. Um, as always, you can check us out on the app 939 The Duck, the website 939theduck.com, all part of the Peterson Media Group. So y'all check all that out. All right, appreciate it, guys. I holla.